The Miami Dolphins sent a ripple through their offensive line room today. A move that may seem small on the surface, but if you lean in close enough, if you really look at what's happening beneath the surface, you'll feel the weight of it. Mason Brooks has arrived. Yodny Kajust has been placed on injured reserve. That sentence alone tells a story of shifting opportunities, hidden disappointments, and the eternal question that stalks every NFL roster. Who will actually survive the churn? And the churn never stops. Brooks is now a household name. He is not a star. He is not the kind of signing that has fans rushing to buy jerseys or refreshing social media feeds for breaking clips. But he is a body, a chance, a swing in the dark by a coaching staff that refuses to settle with what they've got. Because deep down, the Dolphins know the truth. Their offensive line has been both the foundation and the fracture of this franchise for years. How many seasons have been dragged down? Not by a lack of talent elsewhere, but by the inability to keep a quarterback upright. How many moments lost? How many drives stalled? Because someone missed a block, because someone couldn't anchor. And so, Mason Brooks enters. Let's not pretend this is a fairy tale. Brooks was undrafted. Washington didn't hold on to him. Indianapolis didn't either. He floated between practice squads, drifting in and out of NFL buildings, where coaches whisper judgments and depth charts shuffle like cards. Then he took a detour, yes, a detour that says everything, into the United Football League with the DC Defenders. A player who has already lived through rejection, already had to face the silence of the phone that doesn't ring. But here's the hook. Brooks never walked away. He stayed in the fight. He finished at Ole Miss, playing in every game in 2022. Before that, he was 4 years grinding at Western Kentucky. 42 games, 23 starts, a first-team All-Conference USA selection. That's not nothing. That's hours in the trenches, countless plays where he lined up, got punched in the mouth, and stood his ground. You cannot erase that from a man. Now why here? Why now? Because Yodny Kajust couldn't hold on. Kajust is a story that feels familiar, maybe too familiar. A third-round pick, drafted by New England, a team that knows how to squeeze every ounce from its linemen. On paper, it looked right. A sturdy tackle from West Virginia, decorated in college, Big 12 accolades attached to his name. 31 games, 30 starts, a foundation built brick by brick. A South Florida kid, raised in Miramar, coming home to Miami with what felt like a second chance. Could it really have gone another way? Could this have been the revival of a career, the redemption arc? 17 career games, 5 starts. That's the stat line. That's the evidence. Injuries, setbacks, the kind of invisible battles players fight when no one's watching. By the time the Dolphins signed him on August 14, 2025, there was already a hint of fragility in the air, like the move could evaporate before it even took root. And today it has. Injured reserve. The door closed, at least for now. So we circle back. Mason Brooks in. Yodny Kajust out. But what does this really mean? Look at the bigger picture. The Dolphins are staring down another season where protection is everything. The weapons are loaded. The quarterback, if he stays upright, can slice defenses. The defense is stacked, ready to pounce. But what good is any of it if the offensive line cracks under pressure? You don't need to squint hard to see why the Dolphins are pulling every lever, testing every option. It isn't about finding a star today. It's about stacking enough bodies, enough competition, that when the season burns hot, someone stands tall. And maybe Brooks is that someone. Maybe not. That's the maddening uncertainty. Do you remember how many times we've seen players like him slip in quietly, dismissed as depth, only to claw their way into a starting role? Every season, there's at least one. A name no one expects, a player no one circles, suddenly becomes indispensable. Is Brooks that name for Miami? Or is he just passing through, a placeholder, a name on the transaction wire that fans forget within weeks? The answer isn't here today. That's what gnaws at you. Kajust, meanwhile, is frozen in time. Injured reserve is limbo. Not fully gone, not truly present. A once promising draft pick, who now feels like a shadow. And maybe that's the cruelest part of this sport. How quickly it turns a page. One moment, you're the future. The next, you're the afterthought. The Dolphins won't say it out loud, but they've moved on. Kajust is in the background now, Brooks steps forward. The carousel spins. But let's push deeper. What kind of player is Brooks, really? At Western Kentucky, he wasn't just another lineman. He was the guy they trusted, the one they leaned on when the game tilted. First team All-Conference USA doesn't come by accident. That's film that coaches respect. That's hours in the weight room, endless reps, and a toughness that doesn't show up on stat sheets. When he jumped to Ole Miss, he proved he could handle the SEC grind, the relentless speed, the kind of opponents who chew up and spit out the unprepared. And when the NFL didn't open its doors, he didn't vanish. He went to the UFL, strapped on the pads, and kept proving it. Do you know how easy it is for players to give up at that point? To quietly step into another career? To say the dream was too fragile? But Brooks didn't. That tells you something. Maybe something the Dolphins see that others overlooked. Now, can you picture him lining up in aqua and orange, helmet tilted, sweat dripping, staring down the rush of an AFC East battle? Can you imagine if he holds his own? If he becomes the steadying force that this line has lacked? But wait, what if he doesn't? What if this is just another swing, another name in a revolving door that keeps spinning? How many Brooks, how many Kajusts, how many temporary solutions will it take before the Dolphins find their anchor? This is the cruel loop. The Dolphins know it. The fans know it. The players themselves know it. And yet, hope lingers. Always. Because that's what signings like this spark. Not certainty, not clarity, but the sliver of possibility. The sense that maybe, just maybe, this time it's different. So let's stop pretending this is just a footnote. It isn't. It's the latest piece in the never-ending puzzle of Miami's offensive line. A puzzle that has burned through seasons, devoured quarterbacks, and haunted coaches. Mason Brooks is not a savior, but he is a chance. And chances in this league are gold. Could just sidelined, fades into silence for now. Brooks steps forward into the noise. The churn continues. The fight never ends. And as always, the question hangs in the air. Is this the moment it finally turns?